Hey guys, well, this is odd. We are, I guess, transitioning over to what will be, at the very least, 3 weeks of distance learning, or you sitting in your house and me sitting here in my humble office and doing our very best to continue our learning of global politics and our study of life in the modern world. And what that means for the sake of this class is that I'm going to be experimenting with a few different things, a few different ways of providing you all with information. This video might be one of many, I'm not sure. This is kind of just an experiment like the other stuff will be. But I'm thinking that for some of the more complex things, a video of this sort will be necessary, or at least a little bit more helpful to you guys in breaking down an assignment or a concept, and that way you don't have to just read through pages of boring text, and I don't have to write it all out in order for you guys to get the gist of what you need to be doing. So for this week, right, we have basically tomorrow's class and Thursday's class, or the equivalent of that in the digital world. And what I'm going to be assigning you guys is essentially your final assessment, the part one of your final assessment for this short little semester. And I'm not giving you the rubric just yet because, as you'll see when you open up the document, there's a decent amount of information to go through. What I'm giving you is one of the most interesting things that I have found in my online sleuthing and searching, particularly related to Russia and Russian strategy and agenda and goal setting and meeting of those goals. We've talked about Russia a decent amount this year, and Russia has been on my mind quite a lot as a political activist and a citizen of the United States, especially after their interference in the 2016 election in favor of Donald Trump. And it's really easy to think about Russia and Vladimir Putin as kind of this evil genius of sorts, a man with these shadowy secret plans who has the whole world wrapped around his finger, and everyone is playing by his rules, so to speak, whether they want to or not. And what I stumbled across a few months ago, well, more than that, about a year ago, was this book, The Foundations of Geopolitics. And it's not so much a foundational text for the study of geopolitics as it is a wish list for Russian expansion throughout Europe, throughout the world. It's basically a how-to guide to build a Russian empire in the modern world. And it was written by a Russian military and political strategist, theorist, in 1997. And it served as basically the foundation for a lot of Russian activity, Russian aggression, Russian interference throughout the last 2 decades and more, as you'll see. So I've given you, well, I'm going to provide you a summary of that book. You're not going to have to read the whole book. I'm providing you with a summary, and the summary is a digital summary, which means that you'll see quite a few links in it that you can click on, and they will send you to Wikipedia pages, news articles, videos of different things that the Russian government is either working on or has accomplished on this list already. Right? And you'll get in the beginning of the document, you'll get a brief little history of this man, Alexander Dugin, who wrote the book, and and a little bit about its influence already. And then you'll get into this long list of different objectives throughout Europe, throughout the Middle East and Asia, Southeast Asia, and the United States. And what I want you to start thinking about as you read through this over the next 24 to 48 hours, I want you to read through this. I want you to click on all the links that you see, especially the big bolded ones. And I want you to follow up on those sources. You don't have to read through every single word, but I want you to at least get the gist of the article or the video or the Wikipedia page that it sends you to. Some of it you might be more familiar with, like Brexit. But I want you to follow through with all these links. I want you to read this whole document. And I want you to choose one, or at least narrow it down to one or two of these things. Some of them might have happened already. Some of them might not have happened quite yet. Hopefully never, but vamos a ver. So if you choose, I want you to think about this in the context of you're going to be writing a proposal for NATO or the EU or representing an individual country. So you're going to get to choose between who you represent, who you're calling on for aid, right? And you're going to be writing a proposed response to either prevent something from happening in the future or to undo or possibly fix something that has already happened that Russia has played a part in instigating. For example, if you chose Russia's invasion and annexation of Ukraine, right, that already happened. Right? So you would be making a proposal, probably a multilateral proposal, making use of NATO and other alliances, right, in the European Union as to how to resolve this ongoing conflict. Okay? So you don't need to worry about that stuff right now. Just keep that in your mind as you go through this list. And I want you guys to narrow it down and choose one or two that you think you can really focus in on and that maybe you care about, and start to think about how you can prevent it or solve it and what tools would be at your disposal, right, in resolving such a conflict. Okay? If there are any questions, you can email me. There shouldn't be too many questions right here in the beginning. You're just doing your research. But as this progresses, right, there will most certainly be more. And you can message me on ManageBack or on the Google Classroom, or just a proper email is fine by me. And we're going to be experimenting with all of this together. It's a pretty strange time that we're living in. And I'm sorry that it has had such a huge effect on the year. I know that junior and senior year, both of my classes, those are really important years in high school. I remember my junior and senior years very well, and I'm sorry that they've been infringed upon like this. I promise not to give you guys an overwhelming amount of work. I will do my very best just to give you good, focused work that allows you to learn a lot without spending hours and hours doing it, so that you guys can still focus on the other things in your life, which I know are still existing, even if you are not going out as much. So I'm wishing you all so much health and happiness, and yeah, we'll do what we can with the tools that we have. All the best, guys.